Today, I want to unbox my Reaper of Souls a second time, and that is because I have been able to make a completely new skull and pair of hands for him. He no longer has any form of dry rot, and as far as I'm concerned, a completely new animatronic. And I also want to let everyone know that if you're interested in getting your hands on one of these new latex pieces, you should watch the entire video to know how to get one. And that in the description of this video, there'll be a document of everything you need to know if you'd like to buy one. But without further ado, let's unbox, set up, and demo my brand new Reaper of Souls. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Apache Halloween YouTube channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you my fully restored Reaper of Souls animatronic. If you've watched the last segment of this little saga that we've been doing here, you would have known that I've made a new head for the Reaper of Souls, and that is to eliminate the problem of mouth hindering movement because of dry rot. Since that video, I have finally been able to sculpt and cast new hands, so my Reaper of Souls no longer has decrepit, old, shriveled up, distorted looking, can't bend them sort of hands. So in a way, he is basically a totally revived prop. So let's open up the box and see what's inside for my brand new Reaper of Souls animatronic here. Again, this is a redo because I unboxed this guy about a year ago when I got him, but that was when it was all dry rotted and shriveled up and stuff. Here we have the instructions, which are very nice, very generic for today's standards. But it says right here, when not in use, stored neatly in a cool, dry location, protected from the sun. That is something that I didn't do when I first got them, and ended up making the dry rot situation worse because I left them up in my front room all year long during the heat of the summer here in Illinois. So we've learned from our mistakes, and I no longer leave latex items set up all year round. Just for that reason, they get stored back in their box. I figured out how to make this thing easier to unbox, and that is because he actually has a slide out on him, which I didn't know in the original video, so I'm here struggling to bring out the chest part. But here it all is, just nicely packed in here, and here is the probably main attraction, or one of the two main attractions. This is the new Reaper head. Here it is. This one is recolored. I repainted it, and I have a different paint job on here to kind of resemble the original a little more. But here you can see the sculpt that I have made. It looks very close to being original, but in the end, it's kind of just a generic skeleton head. There are some clear differences, mainly in the jaw. That is where I see the main differences between this and the original, and there's other things like just odd stuff around here, like the skull seam line is a little different. I tried to make it as inspired as I could. Obviously it's not going to be the same, but there's the head. It has nice mouth movement, and that was the main thing that I wanted to fix on mine, to have mouth movement again. So there's the head. Right here we have the main body with all the cords and hands and chest. It's all right here. And here are the new hands that I have sculpted. Let me just pull this out for us to see. Got all these cords too, old YJ, that's how they were. But here are the new hands. They are a little bigger than the originals, but I think I kind of like them a little bigger. They look a little more menacing, but they're just glued to the original plastic mounts. And I think mine capture a little more detail in terms of like the little individual bones on the hand. The originals kind of didn't have that. I accentuated all the joints with black washes to make it a little more look like a skeleton hand and not just like maybe a glove compared to like the original. And then we have his base and the two center poles and the adapter, and that's all that is included on this Reaper of Souls animatronic. Let's speed run the setup. So I think it's pretty obvious what happens here. You don't even need the instructions, but you got the base, you've got the poles right here, you know, you got Roman numeral numbers that you can match up. Even if you don't know what a Roman numeral number is, you can still just match the same together. And I don't even know if it really matters for this thing because these are like the two exact same poles. But we just match them up. There we go. Next up is the chest. And there's a pole that just gets snap locked to the base poles here. There we go. It's locked in, so that's all good to go. And then you just have his cords down here, and you might want to untie them depending on how far it is from an outlet. But there he is, basically almost all set up. He's pretty tall. And then last but not least, we take the head and we will just slide it onto the connection right here. And on this, the skin comes down a little farther, the latex. So it kind of covers up the plastic. And then you just pull over the hood. And there you have it. He is fully set up. This guy is humongous. I'm about 6'1", and he's towering over me. So this dude is huge, and he's really intimidating and really cool. I just got to put the Velcro on to the base. And let me show you that. I have since added this to mine. The right way would probably be to stitch it to the clothing, but I just hot glued it. And I have Velcro on the base here, so the clothing just stays kind of stationary if wind is blowing on it. This is more for outside purposes. Inside it doesn't matter that much, but it's on all four sides here, and it just keeps the clothing keeps it looking nice. So let's see if he's going to work. Mine sometimes has this funny problem where his chest won't close after he opens it. It's like I hear like a relay click, and I don't know if it's like a sticky relay and it needs to be replaced at some point or what, but usually he'll eventually close. All right, here we go. I'm going to put the power on. Let's give it a clap, see if he activates. Yeah, he closed. Awesome. One thing I've noticed with this guy is I don't know if the motor's a little tired, and I haven't been able to find an exact replacement for the motor either. But as he continues to go, the mouth gets more and more fast moving. It's kind of like a warming up period, and I think we'll see that as I keep demoing him. But I took my toothy head apart, and I was able to make a 3D print to make it line up to the original as if it was the Reaper of Souls. And with this now, this one actually moves way faster, and I'll put a video up here if I remember. But I don't know if it's because of the motor that's new. There's no return spring on this one, which is something that's different. The mouthpiece is a little different as well. But it's something to ponder about. I don't know why, but I guess we'll see. Let's try him again. But yeah, the hands look really good, and it all kind of meshes well together. The paint job basically lines up to a certain amount. Here, one more time. Okay, I kind of worked him in now. Let's see if he works any better. I'd say it's pretty much a success in that case. But yeah, he's definitely working a little more faster now. Now, over the course of the past couple of months, while I've posted little shorts videos and then the main video of the new head, I've gotten a lot of questions regarding selling the head and the hands. And to that answer, I do plan to sell them. In fact, I am going to start to do some selling. Now, it's a very limited run here. Each head or set of hands will be made to order, basically. The price for a head is going to be $225, and that includes fully painted with the paint job, added LED eyes as well. The eyes will be wired in to be able to basically just plug in, no worry. All you'd have to do is mount the head to the actual mounting plate, because I can't include this. I don't have any means of being able to reproduce this. You would have to have your own to be able to pop it on. But the eyes would be included, and the paint. For the hands, again, can't include any form of plastic mounts, but you'll just be getting the hands here pre-painted, and the hands are going to cost $125 for a pair. Again, they are not the exact same sculpts. They are different. They are made to resemble. So if you're thinking you're going to be getting a one-for-one copy, I'm sorry, but that is not the case. In terms of the price, I get it. The head alone is costing more than what the original retail value for this thing was. I hope you all can understand that for me, this is actually costing me a lot of money to get where I am right here. You had to buy the clay to sculpt. You had to get the plaster to make the mold. You had to buy the latex to pour the actual head. And then you had to fill it with foam. And then not to mention all of the hours of time that has been invested into making this come to life. And then you have to do it all again for the hands. In terms of materials used, the grade of latex, from what I'm told, is very high. This is the latex that I've been using. It's a product made by Reynolds, which is a well-respected company in the monster-making latex, and they really do a lot of cool stuff, to be honest. But this is a ram casting latex that is a natural casting latex, so very high quality, probably better than what they used originally as well. And then for the foam filling for the head, the hands do not require foam filling because I make them thick enough to be able to hold their own shape. And you also need them to be hollow for the wire armatures for each of the fingers, because each finger has a wire in it for you to pose it. I had to make sure that it was hollow so the hands could easily be posed. For the foam filling, this is what I used. It's a smooth-on product, Flex Foam at 3. 3 is a good medium between rigidity and flexible to an amount. Now, when looking at the actual mouth movement, if any one of you guys have opened up a Reaper of Souls head, you might notice that there's a bunch of foam in the actual jaw, and that was because the latex poured for these mass-produced items were so thin that it was not able to hold its shape. This latex is able to hold its shape fairly well if it's in a small quantity. Obviously, you have to foam fill the whole head to make sure it doesn't get deformed. But for the small jaw line right here, this is all hollow, and it holds its shape really well. But it needs to be hollow for the mouth movement, for the mouthpiece to be able to have enough power to make it move up. And even when it was first started, you could kind of see that it was struggling a little bit. But as it went on, it got stronger and stronger. And again, I don't know if it's my motor, because I've tested it on this new toothy piece, and it works way better. So just something to think about. The motors might need to get replaced on some of them. I also want to show you the actual hands, because I never really showed you them. These are some unpainted hand molds, and they're unprepped either. You have to go around and trim off all of the flashing on here, because again, this is a two-part mold, just like the head. So there's two parts that get pushed together. But then you have to go around and Dremel off all of this flashing on each of the fingers, and then just paint it as well. This one is a good thickness, and this would probably be around the thickness I would be using to make ones to sell. As you can see with this one, it was in the mold for too short of a time. It's really flimsy, and there's some holes that have formed due to the fact that I didn't leave it in the mold long enough. But the hands are really difficult for the fact that it doesn't dry naturally as the latex head. The hollowness inside the mold is so small that air can't get through to it, and what happens is latex just kind of pools up in the fingers like a solid liquid form of latex, and it doesn't like just drain out when you drain it. You have to like manually go in there and like poke it out with like a stick, or I've been using a paintbrush to get it to be hollow, which is kind of annoying because on like the tips here, this is all just full latex. It's really stiff and really hard to bend and stuff. So I have to go in with a paintbrush and like pull out all the old latex, all the liquid, the latex that is still in a liquid form, or else it will dry just as a solid. And you can't, and at that point it's useless because you can't get the wires in there to form the hand. So that was one of the shortcomings that I figured out with the hands here. But I think I've got a hang of it, and I guess just more practice is the way to do it. Get a better understanding of it. Now, in terms of payment and how this transaction would work, I think I'm going to be going through PayPal. I don't have any website to be doing this, so if you are interested, you can contact me via Instagram or email, and that email will be linked in the description if you don't have Instagram, but preferably Instagram for me to be able to see it more often because I'm just more active on Instagram in the first place. And the buyer will also pay for shipping and fees such as the PayPal goods and services fee, because we're going through goods and services just to be transparent and safe for everyone here. And once again, it is a limited run. I can only make so many until the mold will either lose its detail or just break altogether. So depending on what that number is how many there will be. I'm honestly not sure how many that will be because it just kind of is a luck of the draw. But that is what I really wanted to tell you guys today, is that these will be starting to go on sale. Just contact me through Instagram or email and we can discuss everything one-on-one. But that is about the end of this video. I also want to thank you guys for all of the supportive comments that I have gotten on this like restoration project over the course of the last couple of months. It really brings me joy and gave me motivation to really just continue with it, because one of my concerns was, does it even look like the original? And while it doesn't look like the original one for one, if you're standing 10 feet away, I would say it's pretty close, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I hope you guys enjoyed the process or these videos that I've made of them. But that's all I have to say. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.
May the demons of the underworld have mercy on your soul.